flying down the track, some of the most promising young riders in the Scottish Downhill Association Mountain Biking Championships. The fun is infectious.
I came and watched the World Cup in '06 and I thought I've got to have a go at this, and a few broken bones and a lot of falls and trips later, started getting into it, got into the SDA, Scottish Downhill Association, started competing, and best time I've ever had.
Pedal power is taking Scotland by storm as visitors and local riders alike take to the hills in ever-increasing numbers.
The last official figures we have for all of Scotland in terms of cycling tourists is about 1 million people coming to Scotland and cycling while on holiday. Roughly 100,000 of those come specifically to cycle or mountain bike.
Entries for events such as this one are fully subscribed in just a few hours of going online. But the sport is not only for the super competitive. Endurance tests such as 10 under the Ben, a 10-hour marathon of multiple laps of a cross-country circuit, have pushed up the numbers of entrants from 500 4 years ago to an expected 900 this year.
For lots of people, they mountain bike but they don't want to race, and that's where we try and appeal to that marketplace. We don't want to sell ourselves as a race. In fact, last year our marketing campaign for the 3 10-hour races was, you don't need to look good in Lycra to take part in the 10 under the Ben. So I'm fortunate I look great in Lycra. But
And once on your bike, Scotland has lots to offer the novice and experienced mountain biker alike. The Forestry Commission Scotland is the country's largest landowner and is keen to encourage the sport.
We've invested £10 million over 10 years in mountain biking. That's 110 purpose-built trails. That's about 800 odd kilometres of purpose-built trails. That's over and above the additional tracks and trails that people can use for cycling or walking.
That commitment is paying dividends.
Scotland's the hottest place in the world to mountain bike. So the IMBA People's Choice poll said Scotland, has been voted global superstar twice by IMBA, which is the International Mountain Bicycling Association.
All the mountain bikers practising for the Scottish Downhill Championships would agree Scotland is the best place to enjoy the sport. And here at Fort William's Nevis Range, it's the best of the best. Home of the Mountain Biking World Cup for the past 6 years, this is one of the toughest tracks on the circuit. But a former Scottish downhill champion and technical advisor to the sport's governing body warns Scotland needs to do more to stay competitive.
I think it's not quite there in terms of accessibility with chairlifts like the Alpine and the Canadian resorts have. But in terms of sort of a general level, sort of a red route, very recreational based trail, there's a lot more to offer, and it's increasing.
Indeed, more and more Scottish ski resorts are aiming to counter the financial cost of unreliable winter seasons by offering mountain biking. North East Scotland's Lecht Ski Centre is hoping to start building the first of 2 mountain biking trails this summer, but it's looking for financial help.
If we don't get grant assistance, we can't afford to build the thing, basically, because we had a poor season, and for us to put a whole 100,000 investment without some help, then we couldn't do it.
Finance is an issue, but increasingly mountain biking is attracting funds. Canadian bike maker Kona and car maker Nissan have chosen to sponsor one of the top British female competitors in the sport.
Mountain biking is still a fairly small sport. It's still fairly young. So with the helps of Nissan and companies like that, it's really kind of injected some cash into the sport and enabled bigger events to take place.
Local companies and businesses are also keen to associate themselves with this dynamic young sport. Whisky maker Ben Romach is one of the sponsors of 10 Under the Ben.
We are trying to target a slightly younger age group with this particular product. So we think there's good synergies between the Ben Romach brand and this particular event.
Good for the sponsor and good for the sport, as mountain biking helps Scotland carve out its place as a world-class adventure sports destination.